As you mentioned, my name is Terje. I work for Soprasteria, and I am here today to talk to you about Fastlane. I bet many of you as iOS developers have struggled with one of these tasks before. If you do it manually, if you don't do it manually anymore, and you use Fastlane, then good for you. But if you don't, you really should start using it. The thing is that it provides a lot of components, or modules, if you wish, to help you with the processes. And you can use them separately, or you can use them together in a fast file. So I've categorized them here. It might not be completely correct. You might have, like Gym, you might have under beta as well, and so on. But I'm not going to talk about all of them, but I do want to go into PEM, SCI, and CERT. PEM and SCI is push notification and provisioning profiles that you generate just by a simple command. Certificate is the same. And then Match takes those files, put them in a Git repo, so your team can just write Match, and then they get all the newest files. So you don't have to struggle with that and go into the developer portal. And then you have Snapshot, which is really cool. It takes a XC UI test, clicks through your application the way you want it to do, and then you can just tell it to take a snapshot. And it will do this for all languages that you support. And before Xcode 8 and the new iTunes Connect, you had to do this for all sizes as well, so it was pretty much a struggle. Now you only need for one, but it's still, if you support 10 languages, that's 50 screenshots that you had to do manually unless you use Snapshot. And then Frameit will take that screenshot, and if you sort of view the screenshot in a device or something like that, because you want to do something cool with it, then Frameit will do that for you. And then for the deploy, you have Gym that will build your application. You can configure it any way you want to. And then Deliver will take the IPA file and push it to the App Store. So I have an example lane here that I'm going to show. Let's see. Do you guys see that okay? Yeah. So the first thing we do here is define the default platform. You can use this for Android, and you can use this for OS X, and so on. For Android, it only has 2 components, but that's really all you need. And then we do some definitions here. Most of them are not that interesting, but the interesting one here is the upload to Crashlytics. So I can just run that definition every time I want to build my application and run it to Crashlytics. And then we define a lane. So the way you do this is you just say lane, and then you call it whatever you want. Here I call it deploy dev. You can give it a description so you know what it's doing the next time you see this code. And then from the GitHub repo, we get the profiles and so on. And here we define the type development, because this is sort of like a development where we're going, and then we make sure CocoaPods is up to date. We run scan. Scan takes your tests and then run through them. And if they are successful, then we increment the build number. Increment build number is something that Fastlane actually provides. It's not something you have to make yourself, because Fastlane has a lot of stuff that is sort of not really well documented, I would say. It's kind of hard to find it, but if you feel that you need something, they might have it. The same goes with up here, changelog from git commits. It does that for you. And then we build it. We tell it to use the export method ad hoc, because we're going to Crashlytics here. And then I just run the definition that I made earlier on. So I have a demo here of how long it takes. So let's see. Here is my Crashlytics dashboard at the moment. As you can see, we use build number 8. It's kind of hard to see since it's gray on white. And then the release note over here, which is just rubbish. So if I go into my file here, it's a bit different. And I wrote header mobile era. Actually, I think it is that now. So let's see. Yeah, so we changed that to running. And then we will save it. And all I need to write is Fastlane deploy Crashlytics. So you can see here that first step is getting the certificates. It logs in. It uses, I think it's called Spaceship to do this, to log in. And then once it has it, it's now fetching profiles. It found one that's matching. Then we build the application. And then the cool thing, at the end, it gives a summary of what it did and how long it took. And I actually tried doing this manually just to get a feeling of how much time I'm saving. And I think I actually used like just creating profiles, creating certificates, and so on, and then uploading it manually, archiving it, and so on. It took me 30 minutes. And this, as you see here, it's soon done. Yeah, so there it's done. It took about 40 seconds or something compared to 30 minutes. So if all you need to write is sort of like 5 lines in here to save 30 minutes, it's worth checking out. How much time do I left? I have some time left. Yep. I just want to show you as well that for App Store, you want to do a bit more because you want to have a bit more control of sort of what's happening. So the first one here, get store, I did this with a shell script just to show you that you can extend on Fastlane. It doesn't necessarily need to just use Fastlane commands. You can build your own. And it's written in Ruby, so if you know Ruby, then it's perfect. So the get store here, it fetches all metadata and screenshots from the App Store. It puts them in folders. So I can go into every language that I support and then change the changelog, the description, and so on. When I'm happy with that, I generate a summary of how it will look. So first I'm going to take a snapshot of the screenshots just to make sure they're fresh and that all the buttons that I added or whatever is updated. And then if you want to frame it, you can do it there. And then I generate a summary, which will sort of open a website that displays all languages that you support and how it will, would look on the App Store. And then it's basically the same, just here we get the profiles from the App Store. The gym step is a bit different because the default here is for the App Store anyway. And then on the deliver, I don't want it to sort of go out on the App Store by itself. I want to have the control. I want to press the button. So I just skip deploy. All of the things it provides is well documented, and you can configure it any way you want. So you have like full control as long as you take the time to read up on it. Yeah, I have the example script here. I have uploaded to my GitHub, so on a Fastlane presentation here. And another cool thing is that a lot of companies, big companies such as Snapchat and so on, they have example scripts, the scripts that they actually use to deploy, so you can get a lot of inspiration from the examples page. And then you can read more on it on fastlane.tools. That's basically all I have, so I hope you go home and install Fastlane, and then you can save some time. So yeah.
Yep. Thanks. Yes. But